So when I put together my videos, I know what I'm going to start out teaching, and then as the video progresses and I research and study, Yah shows me and reveals to me so much more. And that's the case with what he showed me in my last video entitled Yah's Table or the Nations. And if you haven't watched that video yet, I recommend you watch it first before watching this one. And this morning I woke up still thinking about food and how there is this repeated food theme throughout all of Scripture. Something that nobody sees until their eyes are open. Every story of deception, judgment, covenant, identity, blessing, or falling away is connected to food. And it's not because Yah is concerned with diets, but because eating is covenant. In the Bible, what you eat, whose table you sit at, and whose bread you consume reveals who your master is. The serpent used food, the nations used food, the New Testament idol Yeshua JC used food, and Yah uses food. The entire Bible is the story of two tables, life or death. So let's break it down. The very first lie humanity ever heard was about eating. Genesis 3 verse 4. You shall not surely die. The serpent offered forbidden food and promised life, but eating from the wrong table brought death. Eve wasn't just biting fruit, she was entering a covenant with a deceiver. Her eyes opened, but what entered her was corruption. The next great fall again comes through food. Esau said he was about to die. He wasn't. It was the serpent's lie all over again. Genesis 25:32. What profit is this birthright to me? He traded identity for appetite, destiny for stew, a covenant for a craving. Food becomes the tool that steals blessing. When Israel came out of Egypt, Yah tested them with manna. Exodus 16 verse 4. I will test them whether they will walk in my Torah or not. But the people longed for Egypt's food. Numbers 11 verses 4 through 5. Who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. Numbers 11 verse 20. Because you have rejected Yah who is among you, crying, why did we leave Egypt? To Yah, this wasn't about hunger. It was rebellion. He said they weren't rejecting food, they were rejecting Him. Choosing another table is choosing another master. And in the story of Balak and Balaam, Yah did not allow Balaam to curse Israel directly. So Balaam used the oldest weapon in Scripture, food. Numbers 25:2. The people ate and bowed down to the gods of Moab. A feast led to idolatry. A meal led to a plague. Scripture later reveals what happened. Numbers 31 verse 16. These caused Israel, through Balaam's counsel, to commit trespass in the matter of Peor. Balaam used food and women to break Israel's covenant. The serpent's trick all over again. And once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it, because even the prophets were taught through food. Eve ate and fell, Israel ate and fell, so Yah raised up prophets who would eat His word to restore what the nation had consumed. Ezekiel was told in Ezekiel 3:1, eat this scroll. And when he ate it, it tasted like honey, the same sweetness Israel was meant to taste in Yah's Torah. And Daniel fits the same pattern, not by eating a scroll, but by refusing to eat Babylon's food. He would not sit at the king's table. He would not enter covenant with the nations through food. He ate only what Yah permitted, and because of that, Yah gave him wisdom, visions, and sealed understanding of the last days. It's all the same message. Israel fell through eating. The prophets were restored through eating. Daniel was protected through eating, because eating is covenant. Everything Yah teaches and everything the serpent corrupts goes through the mouth. And Eli's sons corrupted Yah's table. The priest's sons stole Yah's offering for themselves. 1 Samuel 2 verse 17. They despised the offering of Yah. They literally ate what belonged to Yah, and Yah removed them. Food misused destroys the priesthood, just like how Yah removed Adam and Eve from the garden. And Daniel, he knew the king's food meant assimilation. Daniel 1 verse 8. Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the king's food. Babylon feeds you, so Babylon can claim you. Daniel refused that covenant, and Yah honored him. And what did Yah explain to the prophet Ezekiel? Ezekiel 4 verse 13. Israel will eat defiled bread among the nations. Defiled bread equals corrupted doctrine, the nation's lies, the counterfeit teachings. Exactly what happened to scattered Israel. Which leads us to the final test of food, which we find in the New Testament, the test of Israel, but reversed. From the very beginning, Yah said in Leviticus 17, verses 10 through 14, "Eat no blood. Anyone who does shall be cut off." So the serpent twists the command in the New Testament using the same Eden formula. Eat what Yah forbids, and you will live. Jesus or Yeshua says in John 6 verse 53, "Eat my flesh and drink my blood, or you have no life in you." But Yah says, "Eat blood and be cut off." The New Testament Christianity, through their idol JC, says, "Eat blood and have everlasting life." It is the same deception from Eden, just wearing different clothes. So the scripture is not a story about religion. It's a story about tables. Yah's table, which is clean, obedience, covenant, wisdom, and life, or the serpent's table, forbidden food, mixture, deception, idolatry, and death disguised as sweetness. Every story in Scripture is a warning. Eat from the wrong table, and your soul enters the wrong covenant. And this leads me right back to the Thanksgiving feast. Israel sat at Moab's table, which led straight into Baal worship. And Israel ate Egypt's food. It kept them tied to Egypt's gods. And now, in the United States, the nation's feast of Thanksgiving opens the door to the next pagan feast or holiday, which is Saturnalia or Christmas and the worship of a pagan idol, Yeshua JC. Through food, Thanksgiving prepares the emotions, and Christmas consumes the spirit. Thanksgiving is the softening ground to prepare for the bowing down of a pagan idol. So when a nation enters the season of overeating, family traditions, emotional softness, nostalgia, ritualized meals, and gathering under lights and decorations to pagan worship, it becomes easier for them to slide right into the next ritual, even if they don't believe in it. This is exactly what Balaam did. He didn't start with Baal worship. He started with a meal. A holiday meal leads to religious practice, which leads to bowing down. But in Proverbs, wisdom calls out. Proverbs 9, verses 4 through 5. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wants understanding, she says to him, Come, eat of my bread and drink of the wine which I have mixed. Because Yah's mixture is pure, layered truth, prepared understanding, and life-giving wisdom. But the serpent also mixes. He mixes truth with lies, sweetness with death, light with darkness, offering a counterfeit table and a counterfeit life. In the end, it's simple. Yah mixes wisdom, the serpent mixes deception. One brings life, the other brings death dressed like a dessert. And right now, The remnant must choose whose table they will eat at.